Hi, I'm Mac McCarthy, and I help people with their breakups, relationships, limited beliefs. And today the topic is why women cheat in relationships. I talked about why people cheat, but let's get a little bit more specific today, because this is one that when you're in the relationship and you get cheated on, you don't really think, why'd this happen? What are some reasons that this happened? A lot of times it's really specific to you. And if you watch my channel before, you know that I say your story counts. Your individual situation counts. And that's why you should send your story into writemac.com. I can review it for you. But let's get into why women cheat in a relationship specifically. When I say a relationship, let's just hope that we got 1 year, 2 years, 3 years in this. This isn't one of those micro 1 month, 2 month type things. You are official. You are together and you've both agreed to be monogamous. There's a lot of stuff going on there right now with open relationships, which is totally fine. I have a story on deck today that someone wrote in about an open relationship situation, and that's a different case. You've agreed to be official. You both agree that you are each other's boyfriend, girlfriend, husband, or wife, and the woman cheats. Why? Let's get into it. I've numbered it off for you today. And even if you're not in one of these situations, this is good knowledge to have in your back pocket as preventive knowledge. Okay? Why women cheat in a relationship? They aren't happy in the relationship. Now, on the surface, this looks like one of those things that you go, yeah, I already knew that, Mac. I already knew that. Duh. The deeper question is, are they even happy with themselves? So happiness is fleeting. So this is the problem with self-improvement and the whole thing. I'm not happy. I wish I was more happy. The problem is, the reality is, happiness is never going to be eternally 100% every minute of every hour of the day. And there's a lot of people out there that if they're not happy these days for a day, for an hour, just lose it. They can't snap out of it, right? And so what I'm asking is, if they aren't happy in their relationship, is it possible it's a reflection of they're just not happy with themselves, their own life, or they're just not accepting with the fact that in a relationship, there's going to be some ups and downs. There's going to be some moments where you're annoyed with the individual, where you're a little bit bored, right? I believe in the past, people were more locked into the relationship and could deal with that. Now it's like something goes wrong. It's the end of the world. Let's break up. Okay. So they aren't happy in the relationship. If that's the case, if you sense that, the deeper question is, are they even happy with themselves? Because if that's the case, you can't really fix that. Only they can. Number two, they are bored. And in most cases, it's not always the man's fault. So a lot of times people say, oh yeah, the woman has to keep, or you have to keep dating your woman. You have to keep it exciting. In some cases, you've both gotten into a comfortable routine that's safe and predictable, which many humans like. What do I mean by that? Human beings like predictable, safe jobs, relationships. They like to know what's coming next. So on the one hand, a part of you or a part of them likes the predictable relationship, likes the security, likes the safeness of it. Okay. Unfortunately, the predictable boringness of the relationship, which holds some value in the sense that this person knows what's coming next, really kills intimacy. Okay. Intimacy needs a little bit of tension. This is why you make up after a breakup, or you make up after a big fight. If there's no tension, if there's no, some people go, oh, we never argued. That's not always a good thing. Okay. I'm not saying that you need to fight, but you need to find a medium there. There's a lot of couples out there. So if your relationship's boring, there might be some value in that. If it's been boring for a long, long, long time, you're not really going to probably pull it out of that in a day, but be aware of that. And if they meet someone that's livelier and upbeat, there's a good possibility they could cheat. All right. Number three, You let yourself go and you don't seem to have any ambition to better yourself. And she does. Now, notice I said she does. So in this case, you could be in a relationship where you guys are both a set of loafs on the couch. Okay. You both let yourself go and get pizza 5 days a week. And that's fine because you're both in the same boat. But if one of you starts to pull away, especially as a woman, if one of you starts to pull away and starts going to the gym, starts going out with friends, starts going on a diet, and you aren't, look out. Number 4, her friends are single or are cheating and seem happy to brag about it. She envies them. So she starts talking about a friend that's single. And I could relate a story to someone I knew in the past that he had a 20-year marriage and she left him. They got a divorce. It was painful on him. Looking back, he could see it coming. But he said later on, his neighbor, who was best friends with his wife, a female, had told him, look, I just want to let you know, I think I was part of the problem, but I didn't do it on purpose. And he's like, what do you mean? He goes, well, when I got my divorce and your wife at the time was over talking to me, and I was so happy to get a divorce because our relationship was so bad. She saw that, and I believe it affected her decision-making. So friends really do affect decision-making. It shouldn't be that way, but it is. It's human nature. And so if your girlfriend or wife has a friend that cheats a lot and seems happy, or friends that are single, and they want to go out with her all the time, it's gonna bleed over to her. Okay. Number 5, hypergamy. So if you don't know what hypergamy is, basically it's a woman's gonna date equal or above who she is, whether that's status, whether that's looks, whether that's money. That's what hypergamy means. Is it absolutely true in this day and age? No. Is it primarily true? Sure. A woman wants to be with a guy she's proud of, right? That she believes is a guy that other women would want. And so the place where she now spends most of her time, if it's loaded with men that make more money than you or work out daily more than you, there's a high probability that hypergamy will take place. She'll find one of those individuals more attractive than you, which you might say, oh, that's not fair. That's real. If she's in that environment, such as work, university, maybe she's just taking a course for a weekend. If she's in an environment with men like that, there's a good chance she will cheat. Number 6, she has always cheated on her boyfriends and gotten away with it and just doesn't see it as a bad thing to do. See, there's a lot of people out there that don't realize this. Some of them probably keep it a secret, but there's people out there that believe cheating has been done since the beginning of time. Parents have done it. Friends have done it. They've never gotten caught. There's no consequences. And they just believe it's okay. My thing is then just have an open relationship and talk about it up front. Be mature about it. But they've gotten away with it, right? And there's more people like this than you think. It's kind of like one of those things. It's kind of like COVID with the vaccine. People aren't going to really bring up, I didn't get the vaccine, because other people that did get the vaccine get real butthurt about that. They get really upset. It's kind of like that with cheating. Someone that's cheating is probably not going to brag about it because you might get upset because it doesn't make your morals or standards, but there's a lot more people that are accepting of it, understanding of it, or just believe it's okay. Okay. The interesting thing about people like that is they get in relationships and they think it's just okay for them. But once they get real feelings for a long-term partner, it really upsets them if they get cheated on. All right. I do believe there is a double standard in the sense that men are going to be more sensitive of women cheating. That doesn't mean that women overall like a guy cheating on them. I'm just going to say that men overall find it a higher offense to them. They have trouble letting that go more than women. I think that women that get cheated on can find reasons to let it go or move forward. Some don't, but more do than men would for them. Men have a lot of trouble with that. I've had clients that they go on and on about getting cheated on. Then I'm like, have you ever cheated? And they're like, yeah, but it's different. Right? Is it? So, number 7, she met someone that she thinks is better than you in some or all ways. Now, this sounds extremely simplistic, right? Oh, really? That's not fair. That's it is what it is. It's part of hypergamy. She's in an environment where she meets someone. She didn't plan to do that. She doesn't believe in cheating possibly, but she met someone that she thinks is better than you in some or all ways. And she can't pass that up. Number 8, she read an article or watched a YouTube video that said it was okay to cheat. Now, this one's, people are like, really? There is so much information out there right now on the internet, on YouTube, on Instagram. You give someone your email, you're interested in something online, you get your email out there, they send you 4 emails in a day. There is so much information out there. People don't realize it plants seeds, it affects people, and really, it's gonna affect individuals' choices. So it's absolutely possible someone watched a video or read a blog late at night that said that, oh, it's okay to do that, right? Number 9, she kept her dating profile up on a dating app after you became official. Why? Oh, I just forgot. A lot of people, not just women, but men too, they like attention. If she's a good-looking woman, she gets a lot of attention. She maybe wants to keep some back burners going. She kept her dating profile up on a dating app. A good way to deal with this is when you start dating, ask them directly. If you met on a dating app, say once you start getting official, go, hey, just want to ask you, did you take your dating app down? Look into their eyes. When people lie, you can usually tell. They might go like this, or they might go like this, or their eyes move up, or their body languages change. So if you notice that, they're uncomfortable taking it down, but you need to have that talk, I believe, once you start the relationship. Because leaving it up and not saying anything about it, I've had women tell me before, unless they're asked directly, they don't have a problem carrying on. For example, if they're cheating or they have a dating app, well, I was never asked about it, so I never had to lie about it. Doesn't seem fair, but it is what it is. Number 10, an ex reached out and she still had feelings for him. So this is one of those things that they have a history. Maybe she never got over him. A story comes to mind. Friend of a friend actually went to a major university, a big time university. And his girlfriend went to this big time university. And they were a football powerhouse, right? And the quarterback actually made the NFL, right? This guy made the NFL, it's huge, right? It's one of the biggest deals in American society, at least, right? Professional athlete, let alone quarterback. So he was the quarterback at this university, and my friend's friend, if you follow this story, it's getting confusing now. This was his girlfriend. His girlfriend's ex-boyfriend or guy she used to see was this college quarterback that made the NFL. Okay. So obviously this guy makes the NFL. He's probably got a lot of options, right? NFL quarterback at a major university, D1. So the guy left, he went to the NFL. Obviously this friend's friend hated this guy when he was in the NFL. But they ended up hooking up. They were in a long distance relationship that they were seeing each other like once a month or something like that. And he found this guy's jersey in her closet, right? And he had a fit and he was going on and on, right? And she's like, well, we don't see each other anymore. He gave it to me, this, that, and the other. Within about 2 or 3 months, there was evidence that they were still hooking up. Now that's a situation where he's an NFL quarterback. She can't say no. Some women would, some women wouldn't, but that's a situation where that guy's gonna win that game, right? And that's gonna be really hard to compete with. And if you're not careful, you could lose a lot of confidence in that situation. Do you want to battle a NFL quarterback for, hey, are you going to stay loyal to me and just not be this guy's side piece? You'd hope she'd make the right decision. But from the outside in, you're like, yeah, you're not winning that one, bud. I haven't been in that situation, but all right. So we got a story on deck just to review why women cheat in a relationship. If you have an opinion on this or I missed one, please put it in the comments. Or if you've had a situation where you've had a woman cheat on you and you think that there's something else to it, go ahead and throw it in the comments, please. So we got a story on deck. If you have a story, go to rightmac.com. The link is down below. Send your story in, or if you'd like to book a live coaching session with myself, get a little deeper for an hour or two on a FaceTime or Zoom call, we can do that. All right, let's get into the story. Hey, coach, I got a breakup where I'm caught in a gray area. My girlfriend and I are taking a break, but it doesn't look good. We started this relationship a year ago and agreed that it would be an open relationship for both of us. We've been in open relationships before, and both were comfortable from the get-go. All right, this is something that's going to probably be more common in the future. I think it's going to lead to more shallow relationships. Even though it sounds good from the get-go, having both of you on board with it equally, that's the part that I have trouble with. Because usually in a relationship, someone looks a little bit better than the other person and someone has a few more options than the other person. Do you understand what I mean by that? Like if you were both single, one of you would be better off from the get-go. And if you have an open relationship, that individual is probably going to get more, right? The problem has been that she actually has been seeing a lot of different guys. I'm sorry for laughing. You're in an open relationship, and the problem is that she's seeing a lot of different guys. I mean, you made your own bed. And I guess we never put a cap on the openness of these things. That's a really good question, right? Like, if you're going to have an open relationship, you can only see 3 other guys. You can only bang 3 guys this week, okay? In the past, my relationships that have been open, neither of us has just gone this buck wild before. I mean, here's where you have to define things, right? What does buck wild mean to you? I think she's just a nymph. Well, you're in an open relationship. I wouldn't be surprised, which was great in the beginning. But now I feel like it's gone too far. As this last week when we broke up, she actually had a guy leaving her apartment when I rolled up. See, this is when it sounds really cool to have an open relationship, and then you're like, yeah, that's just dirty. Sometimes the same things we really like about a situation are the same things we don't like about a situation. And I think that's the case here. You think it's really neat and cool, but actually there is some drawbacks in this. Again, it's okay, but I don't want to see the guy. Is it okay, though? I mean, once you see the guy, isn't it done? Because you're like, that guy? You're like, that guy? That one? Like, that's who you hooked up with? You're sizing this guy up. He's coming out of the apartment. He just railed your girl, right? And she's like, oh, hey, what's up? You're my primary. Really? Come on, man. Again, it's okay, but I don't want to see the guy. She greeted me like no big deal and was all over me right away. I felt like asking if she had showered since hooking up with the other guy. She got up, so you did ask or you didn't ask? She got upset and said I ruined things and told me to just go. See, I mean, this is a huge red flag even for an open relationship, right? I mean, the fact that you have to ask if she showered when you got there because she's just hooked up with another guy, it's pretty disgusting. I left and texted her that I wasn't okay with hooking up with so many randoms. and I asked her for a body count, and she LOL'd me. She told me I didn't want to know that, so I left it alone. So I mean, basically, this is the drawback of having an open relationship, right? I mean, are you going to have a contract set out where you're like, hey, you know what? You can only hook up with 5 guys this month. This is one of those situations where people from the outside, wow, neat, cool. But she's obviously got a different look on it, a different take on it. And this isn't going to work, right? You're not going to find a way to make this work, because it doesn't even sound like she's sorry or empathetic about your feelings on this. She thinks it's kind of funny, right? She's already, when you asked if she took a shower, she already just threw you out. She LOL'd you when you asked some questions about this. This is just not going to work. Okay. I'm not against the fact that you're doing an open relationship. That's your prerogative, as the great Bobby Brown said, right? That's your prerogative. That's fine. You come up with your own morals and values. But when you're going to cry wolf, when this kind of thing goes down, this is a circumstance of it. And if you think you're going to, going back to, the great corrupt, make a housewife here, you're not, right? This is a situation where she likes who she is. You were okay with it, but now you've come up with some late rules to the game those are things that you need to set out from the get-go, right? That being said, I think that maybe you might be hunting a monogamous relationship down the road, because this stings a little bit, right? I mean, the worst case you could do is you could get her back, right, and try to show her that you're seeing someone else. Don't do that. I don't want to break up with her. I mean, are you really with her? See, this is the thing about an open relationship. I mean, what's the shelf life on something like this, right? We actually have a lot of fun together, and I love that she's completely fine with me being in an open relationship. I'm just trying to create some sort of rules here. All right, create the rules in the get-go. I think you mentioned here you started this relationship a year ago. You should have started the rules then. I don't think the rules are going to apply now. And the fact that you laughed when you came up with some, go ahead and attempt to do that and implement them. But here's the thing. In an open relationship, what's the level of trust? Right? If you're really in a real relationship, you need some sort of trust, right? I mean, trust is paramount. It's the backbone of a serious relationship when you're official. My question would be this: are you introducing this girl to your friends and family like, this is my girl? That would be a good gauge of how serious you are about this relationship. Are you, I'm not saying you got to tell friends and family that it's an open relationship, but I'm just curious. Are you introducing her to your friends and family like, this is my girlfriend? Because to me, that would be a good gauge of how serious you are, right? When you get to that level, when you're hanging out with and you're introducing each other as boyfriend, girlfriend, or your people, your friends, your family, it's different. I would gauge to say that you probably aren't on this one. I mean, and why? A curious question for me is, what are you getting from having an open relationship? The option to move up, the option just to be promiscuous. I'm not against it. I would get clear on why you're in an open relationship, and then I'd ask her the same question. Sounds like she's just having fun, right? Sounds like it. I'm just trying to create some sort of rules here. Have you come across this situation like this before? I've come across open relationships for sure. They usually involve a little bit more respect. They usually involve a little less dirtiness. And a lot of times they're swingers. So they're participating in these this openness together, which I think is probably better because you can monitor each other a little bit better. All right, I got a mailbag here. So what I just had some questions that came in on the videos or the live streams last week that I just wanted to address. So if you leave something in the comments, that's a question or a suggestion for a video, but it's a quick question, I'm just going to get to it real quick right now. I think it was Best Barry was the name. Can you please make a quick video on resisting the urge to contact an ex that dumped you? I will make a video, but I just wanted to talk about that really quick. It says, I'm hung up on an ex, but the urge to contact her is super strong at times, and it would be a huge help to have a video from someone that I admire. Well, thank you. So just to piggyback that, another person had, I keep installing and uninstalling just to see my ex on a dating app while she is on a relationship. I know you told me not to be a spectator. So those are two different things, but I would give you the same answer. My quick answer would be, so you have a trigger, right? So you want to contact them. In one case, you want to contact your ex that broke up with you. Okay. Someone's like, oh, don't do it. Don't do it. Don't do it. So here's the thing. Have a counter move ready, right? If you were a boxer or if you were in some kind of martial art, you'd have a counter move. They punch, you move. You'd be ready for that. So what happens is you're not ready for that counter move. So the urge comes up, something triggers you, and you're like, I got to call her. I got to call her. I got to call her. And then your mind goes, resist, resist, persist, persist. As soon as your mind has two different things to decide on, it gets stuck. It's a ping pong game or a tennis game in your head that says, call her. No, don't call her. She doesn't want to talk to me. No, call her. Maybe I can get her back. No, don't call her because she hates me. No, call her because I think she really loves me and I love her and we can make this work. No, don't call her because she broke my heart and she ran away from me. No, don't call her because YouTube videos tell me not to. So you can't accept one side or the other. The ideal thing to do is the EFT, emotional freedom technique, which I do with clients in live coaching videos. Book a live coaching session with myself and get to the bottom of that. That's a way to counter that. My other answer would be have a counter move. So the minute that comes up, I'm going to call her. I'm going to call her. Instead of, do not sit on the couch or lay in bed thinking that. Get up and go for a run or walk or take an ice cold shower. Do something that changes your physiology. Do something that changes your mind into the moment. A walk, a run, a cold shower puts you in the present moment, and it shakes you out of that pattern. Now, the problem is it doesn't get you away from having it happen again, because you wanting to contact them, you're getting triggered, right? Something comes up or you see them on it. This is why it's so bad to look at their Instagram or something like that, because every time you see them, you want to call them. So you need to erase the trigger. But when the trigger comes up, to break the pattern, to break that tennis game, that ping pong game in your head, call her, don't call her, don't call her, call her. Going for a run or walk, it actually requires, even if you went for a drive, which I think a run or a walk is better because it gets the blood flowing, it's exercise. It forces you to be present. It forces you to focus on something right now, because if you're walking or going for a run, you need to be aware of cars hitting you, right? You need to be aware of the environment. If you take a cold shower, you're going to be immediately freezing cold and not thinking as much about that ping pong game in your head. So have a counter move such as that. When I was in a bad breakup, mine was putting music in and going for a run to the park, wherever, and just getting out that tension. And like I said, that doesn't make it go away. I would highly recommend booking a live coaching session with myself to unpack your relationship deeper. I would. But the counter move is big. And then the other question was, which is very similar, I kept installing, uninstalling just to see my ex on a dating app while she's on a relationship. The minute you decide to reinstall the dating app that you keep going on that hurts you, have a counter move. Go for a run, go for a walk, take a cold shower. I don't know. Is there another counter move out there? Someone let me know in the comments. Mine was going for a run. Okay. You go to the gym's a big one. You got to have a counter move. The other thing is, stop yourself and ask yourself, why am I doing this? It hurts me. It upsets me. Why am I doing this? What's my intention? To find out something that hurts me? Why would you do something that hurts me or hurts you, right? Ask yourself, catch yourself in the moment. What am I doing here? Is there an alternative action I can do? A lot of people don't like it. I just had a client. I've done a lot of coaching with him. We've come a long way beyond just breakups. We did some deeper stuff. And he just emailed me, which if you're a client of mine, you can email me and ask me some questions. And he said, hey, man, I just got a lot of tension right now from work. Money's low and clients that are coming in for his particular sphere of work is low. And he said, what do you do for tension? What do you do for tension? Exercise. Now someone said, oh, yeah, you always say exercise. Oh, yeah, is it a boring answer? I mean, here's the thing. The reason why when you say exercise, someone just goes, yeah, I know. Find something specifically that is something that you like. Going for a long solo hike, lifting weights, boxing. The amount of clients I've had over the last few years that shock me that they do jujitsu, guys that are not the kind of guys that I would think that would want to get in a ring. I must have 10 or 15 guys that are into jiu-jitsu. Great way to relieve tension. Physical things. A lot of your tension is balled up because you're not getting it out. A cheating way to probably get out that tension that doesn't involve so much exercise, sauna, ice bath. So I had one more quick question that was in the comments. The guy had said, it's a shame. This cute chick in Ecuador is super into me, but I'd never go there. But she's pushing me to visit her practically every time we communicate. Probably a waste of time. I don't think it's a waste of time if you think there's a possibility of you moving to Ecuador, which I heard is a beautiful place to live. I've known people that have lived over there and moved there. They have communities from the States. The idea that you want to meet this girl that you've met online, she's cute. If you go over there for a discovery mission with low expectations, go for it. If you have no interest or there's never a possibility of you moving to Ecuador or, dare I say, you marrying her and getting her a visa to your country, then why are you even spending time on those kind of apps entertaining that? So I wouldn't have a problem with it if you went over there. Just know your expectations. But I will say this. I've had clients that come to me before that were in places in South America or Asia. They've met a woman. They've met them there. They come back. They continue the relationship. It's a roller coaster ride. It's up, down. It's all around and never ends well. Never ends well in the cases that I've seen. If you're going to move over there, you might have a chance, right? The other part of that gets lost is you're in your different cultures. So you just look at the world differently. Okay. You just see things differently. And that can weigh on a relationship, but it'll weigh on a relationship even more if it's long distance. All right. So I hope that helps you. All right. Let me just get into the last year. Eduardo Martinez. How you doing, buddy? I hope you're well. Rob IS. Eduardo, how's your girlfriend doing, by the way? You had said that maybe she wanted to talk. Rob IS, greetings to you, my friend. Friends should know the boundaries. Number 9, kept the dating profile up. Red flag. That actually happens a lot. People find out through friends. Like their friend goes on there and they're like, yeah, I just found out she's still on a dating profile 9 months later. What's that all about? And then there's always a reason. Like, it's funny because people won't just come clean. Like, yeah, I left it up there because I like the attention. I'm going to tell you the truth. Actually, I left it up there. It's like they'll come up with, oh, I forgot. Oh, I didn't know. I didn't even know it was still up there. It's like, yeah, well, you're still getting a lot of emails and text messages, right? Bowbender 48. Thank you very much. Well, thank you. Mr. Sammy, how you doing, buddy? Sorry, but yeah, it's a cope answer depending on age and situation. Up, down, that's code for push and pull. It's a Jedi mind trick. Run, says Mr. Sammy. You know, relationships can be a bit of work. It can be a bit of work. I think that some people don't realize they put themselves in situations where knowing some of this, talking about it before you get back into relationships, good. And just realize that some of your relationships aren't going to be long-term. I think there's going to be more short-term relationships in the future, and that's okay. That's just the way it is. It's like, someone says, I can't start using email, or I hate dating apps, or I hate social media. It's probably going to be a part of the future. You don't have to jump into that arena, but at some point it's going to cross your path in the 21st century. And this is just what's happening. So to be a little bit more savvy on the fact that it's maybe not you, or it's like one client I had recently, he's into pickup artists and he's really good with women and he's done really well for himself in that arena. And then and this is what always happens with PUAs or pickup artists. It's like, then they meet one that they like, and it's like, oh, the same stuff doesn't work anymore because now I want to be in a serious relationship, and I have to be vulnerable and I have to be a little bit kinder. And it mixes them up. But overall, you could do everything textbook by whatever book you read. You could read Corey Wayne's 3% Man 100 times, although it just takes 10 or 15. You could read that book and do a lot of things well to attract that woman, to have interest in her, but having a 1 year, 2 year relationship with her. Or you can do all the things right in that book and still not score. Doesn't mean it's not a good book or it's not a good playbook. It just means that nothing is foolproof. Be flexible. Have the ability to maneuver, as the great Rollo Tomassi says. All right, folks, I'll be back on deck tomorrow, same time. Seems like it's a little bit better to get started later here than earlier. Take care. It is curtains.